support. And I think one of the things that I think we both agree on is that so much of a child and a family being successful is broader than just the kid being on property and having good customer service. There's multiple processes and multiple tools with this. That I'm wondering if you could go into a few. Like everything from the intake process, which I know a lot of camps don't have an intake process. Like the kids just register, right? To just the day to day of camp, and then also post camp if there's anything that camp should be prepared for.
Yeah, absolutely. And it starts with the idea that we build a collaborative and cooperative relationship with our families, right? Or the adults in their lives. And I think that's so important to start with that mindset. But please understand that families have often had this like hand in the face. Sorry, we can't take you. Sorry, this isn't going to work. So historically, they may have experienced a lot of no's or a lot of we tried and it failed. It failed, right? So understand, try to come to the table understanding the background that they may have come to when they're signing their kiddo up for your camp, right? So if we understand that out front, then we find that we as camps need to create a welcoming environment through the intake process. So if you don't have a clear intake process, or if it's just here, sign here, fill up all these, check here, fill in these boxes, might want to consider because if we don't know up front that a camper needs supports, day one is you're going to figure it out, but it's unfortunately going to be doing a lot of backtracking, right? So if we have clear intake process, and when I say intake, it's really an opportunity to, let's say, normalize the process of asking for accommodations, right? So if we think of it in that way, that you want to make this so welcoming and so clear that we want to work with you to help your child succeed at our camp. So if we give that message either through, through photos, through our language, through the ways we frame our questions, right? That we don't say things on an intake like list all their challenging behaviors, because then that, oh, I don't know if I really put it down. Are they going to accept my kiddo? Right. So there might be that. So we want to reframe it and focus on strengths. And then that's going to, really make a family feel, oh, they want to know about my kiddo, not just the hard parts, but what do they love? What are they great at? And then you can work on the support needs. What might they need assistance with? Day-to-day tasks, right? And when you're asking it in that way, rather than list all their challenging behaviors, because our goal is to know upfront what supports they need, so then we can support them, right? And we can know before they get to camp, make any adjustments, share the information appropriately so that that camper is starting on the right foot, right? And now you're also building a collaborative and cooperative relationship with families rather than perhaps what we call non-disclosing. And then the kiddos starts to struggle, and we used to call it Tuesday tornadoes. Monday went okay, but by Tuesday it was like, what happened? And then reach out to the families, and then they're like, oh, by the way, he or she has this or that, and then we didn't know about it. Now we have to kind of quickly backtrack and do a little damage control, right? And then help support that kiddo. So if we can do that up front, and what it also does is for those family members, it puts us on, we're working together rather than, hi, they're in trouble again, that kind of
Hmm.
conversations where that's going to put the family on defense again, right? So if we work together up front, you're going to just set us up for more success for that kiddo, for all the peers, for all the staff, the family, and the camp as a whole.
Yeah, and I think you hit on a really great point that the parent's whole experience of a camp or caretaker, right? Of the camp experience is drop off, pick up, and day camp, and then also just the communication you get. And that's why the communication is so important for every child. Like nobody likes getting caught off about anything. You can think of the day and age we're living in where you can get an alert about your coffee being ready on your watch. You can get instant whether you can get instant knowing everything. And then for your thing, the thing that you love the most, which is your child, being with somebody else. Then on top of it, add the stress and anxiety of all the of just having a child, a diverse ability, or on the spectrum, or
Yeah.
like your stress level's higher. It just is.
Yeah.
That so when that lack of communication is just everything, you know. And is there any quick tips you have on communication? Like any little phrases or anything, little tricks that you have up your sleeve that you would want to
Yeah.
share?
I think, I always try to remind folks that if there was a struggle during the day, use that sandwich approach with the family, because you can imagine here comes parent, a family member picking up a camper, and to hear, oh, this happened and that happened, right? Please start with something positive that happened for that camper. Share, oh, wow, it was really awesome. Did you know that Joey sang, he led the morning circles song of the day? It was amazing. Then mention the, hey, during swim time this incident happened. And but here's the thing, rather than saying like it happened and we really can't have this happening again, use the family as a source of a solution. So, has this happened at home before or maybe in school? Oh, what did you do? What advice do you have? Because now you're valuing their advice. And then you write that, okay, we're going to try that tomorrow and I'll get back to you. All right, thanks. So use them as to help solve, because guess who knows that kiddo best? More than likely it's going to be the family member, right? And
Yeah,
then end with something positive. Hey, tomorrow's we have dinosaur day. That's a theme. So he said he's bringing his stegosaurus. See you then. So you're leaving on a good positive note, because a lot of these families, all they hear is lists and lists of here's what your kid did wrong. It's not a good seat to sit in. So if we can start
exactly.
positive, and then if there is a challenging behavior, work together with the family, and then end with another positive.
Yeah, and it's funny too because you're really what you're that rapport you're building, right? It's easy as a parent to lie to someone taking care of your kid. It's actually fairly easy to withhold information.
Yeah,
And by having a relationship where that parent knows you see the positive in their child as well as the things that are going on, they're more likely to open up to you. They just are, right? So,
absolutely, absolutely. Because what they know, if they're hearing from you that we want them to be successful, a lot of families have had the, yeah, we're going to try this, but if it doesn't work, we're not going to do it. And then so they're walking on eggshells, and they're, well, I'm not going to tell them about this because they might kick them out or they might not accept them, and I have to go to work, right? I don't have another, backup plan here. So this has to work. So out of desperation, they may not share. So if you've given them the, we we not only do we want to hear, we value your input, and we want to know how we can work together to help them to be successful.